So let's just get a little bit oriented to a data set, especially a data set in long format. So remember, in long format, we have space for multiple variables, and every column is going to contain information about one variable. So a variable is a specific characteristic that you're measuring about each of the rows or observations. So in this case, we have three variables plus a nominal variable that's not really useful for analysis. So we have four columns, but three really useful variables. The variables in this case are age, retirement status, one being retired, zero being not retired, and retirement satisfaction on a scale from 1 to 5. Like, how satisfied are you with your retirement package? So each individual column is going to contain information only about that one characteristic, but each item correlates to information about a specific observation. So an observation in this particular case is an individual person. It's always going to relate to whatever your unit of analysis is. So if we were studying countries, each of these rows would be a different country. If we were studying cities, each one would be a city. If we're studying households, each row would be a household. So whatever your unit of analysis is, that should describe what's contained in the rows, and it should also describe what makes each row unique. So we call each row an observation. So 001 here is a person. This person has a name, this person has a phone number and an address, and if they're a US citizen, they probably have a social security number, all that sort of thing. But we don't have any of that information here. We just have an ID number for them. But this is a person. And so this row of information is going to be describing that one person. So person number 1 is 63 years old and is retired and is highly satisfied with their retirement package. If we jump down to person number 10 is 63 years old. They're not retired, but they're highly satisfied with their retirement package. So each row is an observation, and the data in each column describes the individual observations that are in the rows. So here we have three different variables. Age, again, retirement status, and satisfaction with retirement packages. And you can see that it's a variable because the data in here varies. So you can imagine if I had another column over here that was like, are you human? And they would all be ones. That's not a variable because it doesn't vary. It's the same value for all of the observations in our data set. So a variable has to vary, and variables are contained in these columns. Now, one of the things we're going to want to move on to is how do we describe the entire data set, like everyone in the data set all at once, rather than having to go through and describe each individual person on each of these items. So we're going to use descriptive statistics for that. But for now, rows are observations, columns are variables. Unit of analysis is what describes what's in each row. It's what we're actually talking about, what these variables are telling us about in general. And I think that's everything you need to know to start out.